Hey, Rob Brinded here from Masters.life. I'm going to be talking about one of the traps in trying to change your behavior that reinforces negative behaviors that are holding you back in life, making you have suboptimal, suffering type of life, or just always having the same problems show up again. So I'm going to be talking about one of the key points about how psychology looks at it, and how fundamentally you can't change a system from within the system, as in your mind, where all the blueprints, all the programs lie that hold you in place and stop you from living fully. You can't change that from within that system. So we need another system. This is what's so it's revolutionary. It's very simple when you really look at it, but I'm just going to show you one of the problems with trying to change system from within a system, and how it makes you a kind of a praise junkie. You're always trying to look for external validation, and you might be 20 and you're fine with that, but when you get to 40, 50, 60, you've been doing that loop so many times that it's brutal. In fact, I should say I worked with a 26-year-old who is finally fed up of drinking too much. He's realizing that there's a pattern in his behavior and he doesn't want it anymore because he can see it happening again and again. So if you have a negative behavior pattern that keeps coming back, you want to be following my channel and following my videos, because I explain exactly how to resolve that and how to change yourself for the better. I like drawing on the board, and what I did this morning was I was listening to a video by Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy, who's a first principles thinker, and I love listening to him. He was talking about Bitcoin, why he made that decision based on first principles. And he said a word, he said first-hand observation. So he said first principle thinking, and then he kind of corrected himself. Well, he just said like first-hand observation. First-hand observation is where you just observe firsthand, like you just look at something and weigh things up in the moment, not based on other people's opinions or concepts or beliefs. You just look at the facts as they are right now, observe them, and that's how you learn, or you make decisions based on first-hand observation. I wrote that down because he was saying it, but this is also crucial in changing yourself. You can only change yourself using first-hand observation, because you're looking at facts. You're not following anyone's preconceived ideas about spirituality or truths or enlightenment, or if you live like this then you're going to get that. That's a trap. And then what was interesting, my 6-year-old came in here, picked up the pen. I wasn't watching what she was doing, and I turned around and she'd copied firsthand, and then she drew this. Now what's interesting is this, it's kind of a bit spooky. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heads. And if you know any of my other videos, you know that the patterns in our behaviors, so the way you see life and experience life inside your head, all the thinking, it has kind of 6 deep patterns to it, 6 deep particular areas that come up. And when you start to observe firsthand your behavior, then you see these patterns. The more you understand them, the more they change and dissolve. That's the secret. So it's kind of 6 heads is how we are. We have heads. The way we're looking at life is through these frames or behaviors. There's kind of 6 deep ones that just keep on churning through. I call them hamster wheels. You can call them frames and everything. So kind of freaky that she did that, and I don't want to get rid of it. I'll take a photo. So if I draw the mind, if I call that the me, so if you're looking at that, that'll be, let's say you have a behavior about being able or unable. What that means is, let's say at the moment I'm working on a project where we're creating a self-directed learning environment in Madeira. This comes up a lot because I've been deeply conditioned in my behavior to feel unable through my schooling experience. And so I watch firsthand that thought come up, and then it dissolves it. So me is the I feel unable. That's conditioning around one side or the other. Some people are conditioned to feel completely able to do whatever they want. And so what we want to do is just observe this. We're not, because otherwise you're going to spend all your time trying to be able. But the hamster wheel, the glitch in the mind is that the more you try and run away to be able, run away from unable, you're going to energize unable, and you're going to flip back over like a hamster. I see that thousands and thousands of times with some of the top athletes, business people, entrepreneurs in the world. Everyone has this pattern within them. So I just wanted to bring up this idea of pick and nuff. This is psychological terminology. When, let's say someone smokes, it's positive, they like it, it's instant, and hang on a second, it's certain. They 100% certain they're going to get that positive instant. That's why they do it. That is, and to the opposite would be negative, uncertain in the future. So when you're trying to change people from smoking, you can't do this. Oh yeah, it's going to be negative, you'll get sick in the future. That doesn't change smoking behavior. Google, Facebook, Instagram, they all reverse engineer this functioning of the mind, that it's positive is pleasure searching. So everyone has been conditioned for praise from our schooling experience and from parents. Oh, you're such a good boy. Wow, look at you. You're so good. You show them a picture when you're a little boy. Oh, that's so good. You're so talented. Praise, which equals pleasure. Yeah. So when this is positive is pleasure. We get pleasure from the cigarette, and this doesn't change behavior. Now, what they understand is if you change this with another pick, another pleasure, that's how you can change the behavior. So you need to change, you stay in the system of pleasure, but you have to have a stronger pleasure. Okay? Now, this, I heard an example of this. A child was learning a musical instrument and didn't enjoy it. So necessarily I would wonder why the child was learning the piano if they didn't enjoy it. That's the old model. It's like you need to coerce children to learn a musical instrument instead of just allowing children to do what they enjoy. But this is the new system, but I'm not going to talk about that now. But that's a revolution. If you allow children to be serious and to do what they enjoy, you're going to have an orders of magnitude brighter, more creative, problem-solving child. So the child's learning, is not enjoying it. The father comes over and says, "What have you learned this week?" And they're like, they don't do a very good job. But then the father uses this and he goes, "Wow, that was amazing." So the kid gets massive pump of dopamine praise through the encouragement or the praise, right? And then there's a pick, positive, instant, certain. So now the child then goes on to learn more in 1 week than in a year. But do you see the problem with that? They're on the hamster wheel. They're incentivized through praise, through the pleasure, and so the next time they need that, they have to get how would you describe that? They're incentivized. They're looking outside of themselves for reinforcement, for praise, positive recognition. So they're on the hamster wheel, and everyone is searching for praise. Look at me. And so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everyone knows that. So they get the like button showing you someone's liked your button. So you keep checking in every day to get your little pump of, oh, look at me. Look at people like what I've done. That's how the tech giants engineer us and use us as products. Yeah. So this works if you measure things inside the system. Let's say I'm totally inside my mind, in my intellect, and I don't know that there's another way. This is how I'll change my behavior. It's a little bit like if you're an economist in the current monetary system and they're printing money, inflating prices and trying to, it's just distorting the money supply. Everything's manipulated in the system. That's the only system you know. Then you look for solutions in that system. Now, if you're a lateral thinker, being someone who's able to step out of a very strong current system, you'll see that this is crazy. Like the monetary system, once you see it, you realize it's a complete scam. And that's why I Bitcoin, because I realized that this is a decaying, old, collapsing, distorted, manipulated system. But the mind is also that. And so when we start to realize that we're actually completely distorted as humans through praise and pleasure, and that we never change our behaviors, we just replace them. We have this dark shadow. We're ugly, greedy, selfish individuals. We haven't changed in thousands of years. When you see that, you realize that you can't escape that only through pleasure, drugs, alcohol, getting out of your head, or spirituality, which is another it's a scam of the mind. It makes you think you're doing better. But when you can decentralize yourself and watch first-hand observation of this system, it dissolves it, and that's enlightenment. When you can shine light into this system. And when I say enlightenment, don't get caught up in being enlightened, because that's a catch. That's the glitch of the mind. It catches you and tricks you. So fundamentally, it's very, very simple. You just have to watch your mind. You're not your mind. You're not me, I, and all the identifications. You just need to observe that. So it's funny, this drawing of Lima's, it's almost like we have to wear all these different heads to enable us to be able and to allow us to get pleasure, and we have to manipulate others and be nice guy and show how caring and everything we are, so that we get liked and we get pleasure, right? And the Instagram is like a leveraged example of that. Look at my life, look at how, and so everyone likes, and then you get, oh, and then you have to, you're on the hamster wheel. So, coming back, first-hand observation, knowing the truth about the system is the only way to change ourselves. When we want our children, we want our children to be able, we start to shape them in the system and give them praise and start the prison sentence. We just have to first-hand watch our children and just observe them and be present and love them. Be careful with the praise. Observe why you're praising your child. You'll probably find it's because you've been conditioned. Watch how the society is built, the structure of society is built on pleasure. Watch it. It's there to see. I hope you found that useful. This is results orientated. That's all I'm interested in. How how do I get free? How do I find the truth about why I suffer, why I'm triggered, why I react like a robot to all my memories, and I want to be free. If you're really serious about being free and you want your children to be free, this is it. This is where you need to be observing. All right, thanks so much, everyone. I'd love it if you like the video and subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to share it with someone you think that they would find it useful, I'd love that too. Thanks so much.